The debate was held in Miami, where rising sea levels caused by climate change and warming oceans is not an issue for future generations. It's a concern in real time. I talked to several of the candidates about climate change. I also spoke to them about Republican efforts to roll back and, in some cases, completely eliminate access to abortions. But first, Mayor Pete Buttigieg on climate change. Let's watch.
Look, this is an existential issue, and I think we got to treat it like a security issue. It's also a moral issue, and it's an issue of intergenerational justice, because each generation in the future is being made worse off if we don't deal with it. So what can we do? Well, we've definitely got to have a carbon price and dividend, carbon tax and dividend, call it what you want. We need to do it in order to get our economy to be closer to carbon neutral. We've got to at least quadruple federal R&D in renewable energy and energy storage. We got to undertake building retrofits, which, by the way, will create a lot of jobs in addition to making us more energy efficient. And we need to put climate at the center of our diplomacy so that other countries are being held to account for how much they're part of the solution. But there's one other thing that's not being talked about so much, which is how rural America, places like the Central Valley, could be a huge part of the solution. You know, there are some estimates that through better soil management, soil could capture a level of carbon equivalent to the entire global transportation industry. And if we let rural America know that they could be one of the most important parts of the solution, and instead of just feeling like they're being told that they're part of the problem, we might be able to break down some of the resistance, especially at a moment when rural America is beginning to realize, because of this extreme weather, that where I live is making it hard to see whether it's even worth planting soy this year, for example, because some of the fields are so waterlogged after a lot of extreme weather. You know, they have the most to lose. But the point is, all of us need to be part of a national project to deal with climate. Through good policy, yes, but through everything that the private, public, academic, and social sector can bring to bear on the issue.
I think you have to address global climate change because it is the greatest urgent threat to humanity that exists. And I think Democrats who are afraid to dream big don't understand what leadership is. You have to be brave enough to say you have to do this now, not because it's easy, but because it's hard. Just like John F. Kennedy. When he said he wanted to put a man on the moon, he didn't know if he could do it in 10 years, but he knew it would be an organizing principle of how great we are as a nation, how entrepreneurial, how innovative, how strong.
And he beat the spread.
And he did it. So we need a president who's going to say we must address global climate change and regain our leadership on the world stage and actually lead other countries to do the right thing. Why not a space race with China over green energy? Why not actually say, let's see who can address global climate change with clean energy and renewable fuels faster, and see whose scientists and entrepreneurs are the best.
Most people now watching right now and listening say, okay, Ocasio-Cortez has got the Green New Deal. You're talking about the green part, but what about the rest of it? The ideological part of it, the left part of it. Are you happy with that?
So it's a lot more simple.
Because that's what Trump will run against.
But it's a lot more simple than people think. The Green New Deal is just a platform of ideas. Ideas, in fact, that we've been working on, that I've been working on for 10 years. It's clean air, clean water. I've been serving on the Environment Public Works Committee, making sure we can clean up poisoned water with PFOA for 10 years, from lead from PCBs. The second piece is infrastructure. There's no more bipartisan idea than rebuilding America's infrastructure. High-speed rail, rural broadband, new electric grid, more mass transit. And last is green jobs. And we know that if you train young kids in STEM and give them the opportunity to be able to be the next workers in wind, solar, geothermal, hydropower, and biofuels, they're going to have the jobs of the future, and it's going to create economic growth.
When I went through Paradise, California, you know, this is a town of 25,000. It was just burned right to the ground. It looked like a Hollywood apocalypse movie, and this is a magic moment for our nation because the public is now understanding this. This used to be a graph on a chart, an abstraction. Now it's people seeing real neighbors being burned out of their homes.
What's the one thing you would do as president on climate, if you got in there?
Well, we would have a whole suite of policies to drive equity investment.
Number one.
Clean energy fuel standard, 100% clean grid standard, big investment in energy efficiency requirements for better building codes, and large research and development. We spent more money developing one kind of Jeep years ago than our entire clean energy investment strategy. Now, below that, there's 24 different strategies, and we're doing them in our state as we speak.
Do you accept Roe v. Wade as settled law?